In this video, I want to talk about something that I know that a lot of empaths and Blu-rays and spiritually inclined sensitive beings in general really struggle with, and that is actually setting boundaries and keeping their energy within their own being, so it's not kind of hand-holding all over the place out there and overloading them. Hi and welcome back. So this is something I've been thinking about and I've discussed in a group I run and also with people online and so forth lately, and that has been boundaries. A lot of empaths, Blu-rays, sensitive beings, spiritually inclined beings are very sensitive, but also often don't have very good boundaries with their energy and with other people and things like that. I want to talk more about the energetic impact in this video. Information on setting boundaries in a more physical sense is all over the internet anyway, so I won't go into that too much. But yeah, energetically what happens if we're an empath, which Blu-rays are empaths, so that's why I've made it as one for all of beings on that sort of wavelength. Essentially your energy kind of reaches out and connects with everybody else's energy. So if you're somewhere really crowded, it can become very overwhelming and too much information. There's just too much going on. Or even if you're around somebody who's not well, is sick, is really struggling, or in a really negative frame of mind, an empath or Blu-ray or energetically sensitive being will quite quickly feel wiped out, exhausted, tired and overwhelmed, and maybe even anxious. So that is very, very common, and I meet people all the time who have those issues, and I've had them myself for many, many years. It's one of the reasons I actually stopped doing fairs and things like that so much, because on Mondays I was just an absolute write-off. You know, I'd do 2 days and do about 12 readings a day both days, and there were people everywhere, hundreds of people, and gosh, by Monday, honestly, mentally I was just absolutely wiped out, physically too quite often. So it wasn't actually serving me physically to keep doing that to myself, and so you have to learn to do what's right for you. So I prefer to do things on a quieter level. I work online, I see people by appointment, one at a time, which is much nicer, and I actually manage to get much more in depth with each person because I'm not being overwhelmed, so it works better for me. But whatever you do in life, whatever your work is or whatever you do in your day to day, if you're dealing with those kind of energies and a lot of it, you're going to find it hard if you're a sensitive being, because your energy is out there connecting and getting information, and you might walk away from that feeling quite horrible and quite unwell or depressed, or even have physical symptoms. You might feel all of those things, and sometimes it's hard at first to work out and sit there and go, was this mine? Is it not mine? Where did it come from? And all of those sort of things. So it is a very important step in empowering yourself as an empath and a Blu-ray to be able to bring your energy back in when you need to, and to yeah, have a little bit more say in that whole process. It's a beautiful thing to be able to link energies with somebody when you want to, when you choose to. You know, it allows people to do amazing things and have rewarding relationships and do amazing work and all of those things. But there needs to be a little bit of say in how and when it happens, or people will wipe out or end up total hermits, which is something I considered years ago. I sort of had this thing where I just wanted to live in the middle of nowhere and just be by myself, you know, and then that's not what we're here for either. So I had to figure out how to do things differently. And that means working in a way that works for our being. Like, overloading ourselves generally isn't a good thing. It's something that will deplete you energetically, so make sure you keep things manageable and at a pace and a rate you can deal with. But all of us sometimes have to go into crowded places. It happens, it's a fact of life. Sometimes we have negative people around us or people who are quite exhausting. That happens, it's a fact of life, and we really can't totally avoid that. So handling it is what's important. So energetically, one of my favorite practices, and I've shared that with a lot of people, is to actually close my eyes, and you can do that at a supermarket checkout or wherever, and everybody will just think you're closing your eyes for a second, and visualize your energy field. And you'll actually, as you feel it, you'll feel it that it's quite big at that point in time. It's quite out there. And just visualize yourself breathing in through the top of your head and right down deep into your belly. And visualize your energy field coming in with that, you know, bringing that focus, that attention back into yourself, back into your own being, and pulling your energetic boundaries in a little bit better, a little bit more, so they're not contacting quite as many others out there. Takes a little bit of practice, but it's by far the easiest way, and it's so much easier than all these other sort of ideas out there because it's quick, easy. You don't need to have anything with you to do it. You can just do it wherever you are, but it does take practice. You'll get better at it the longer it goes on. Also, another technique I've used at times when I'm somewhere where I don't maybe feel 100% safe, I work with blue. It's a blue thing. It's an electric blue. But I just visualize a bubble around me and where I'm staying at my home. And it's like an igloo-shaped bright blue bubble. And it does actually keep energies out. Because years ago I used to know somebody who liked to astral travel. And I found it a little bit annoying because this person would turn up in energy form. His energy was quite magenta while I was on the toilet or whatever, you know. It just wasn't appropriate. So I thought, well, I don't like this. This is a bit weird. So I set a colour bubble around myself. And the next time I ran into him, when I was near Nelson, he looked at me and he says, "What's with this blue wall? What on earth is that all about?" And I just grinned and thought, oh, cool, it works. It was a very good affirmation for me that it actually worked, because he was quite spiritually aware, but a little bit in a manipulative kind of weird way. But yeah, he certainly couldn't get through it or past it. So you don't have to use blue. You can use whatever colour really, really works for you, whatever makes you feel good, makes you feel safe. Some people use silver or gold or whatever colour works for you. But yeah, those sort of energetic boundaries, it's not something you want to do all the time because it can really actually keep people out and away from you, and you don't want that all the time. So yeah, use it when you're not feeling particularly safe. But the other one of just bringing your energy focus back into your being. In Eastern methods and Eastern martial arts and things, they call it I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, the Tantian or the Tantian, and it's like a center in your belly where your energy kind of really grows from and glows from, and yeah, it's your seat of strength or power. I'm not up with all of that, but that's kind of the same place in your belly where I'm suggesting you put your focus and your energy, because if your focus and your energies in there, you're not connecting with all these random people and overwhelming energies. You're kind of keeping it a little bit more to yourself. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this 24 hours a day. If you're at home and it's safe and it's a nice time and you're relaxed, let it go. Nature's a beautiful place to actually really stretch your energy out and connect with nature, because it's very good for it. It's very good for our energy field to be connecting with nature and plants and trees and things. So that's when we can do what I call energetic stretching. You know, we can really reach out with our energy and let it connect with the natural environment around us. Or I've also done it at meditation groups and things like that, where we've actually let our energy all combine and create this wonderful, great, big, beautiful, high vibrational energy field. But you really only want to do that with people who are in a good level of consciousness and awareness because you can end up taking on other people's stuff. If there are people there who are a bit messed up, you don't really want to be going home and trying to fuddle your way through whatever energetic sort of influences of theirs you've taken with you. So these are just a couple of easy suggestions for looking after your energy so that it doesn't get depleted and you don't get exhausted and things like that. And it can have a terrible effect on your health. I know for me, if I get depleted, I get health symptoms. I'll get really tired, sometimes even my glands swell up a bit, things like that, and I just get exhausted or get headaches or something like that. So that's always a cue for me to go, okay, I need to pull back a bit and do a bit of self-care here and relax and go for a walk or just relax and read a book or something. So yeah, our bodies are always sending us signals, but being a highly sensitive Blu-ray, empath, whatever way that works for you, has its challenges. You know, it can make life a little bit harder because your energy is so open and so ready to connect with others, but it's also your gift. You know, that connection allows people to help people, to care for people, to empower people, to build connections that are so much stronger than a shallow person would ever build. So the rewards are huge too. But self-care and being able to look after our own energetic field is important. Another method that's important, I don't have a bathtub, but I have a shower. And if you've been really surrounded by lots of people, say you work in a place that's quite stressful and there are lots of stressy energies around and things like that, Epsom salts are really good. I put mine in a flannel or something and just wash myself down and shower. If you've got a bath, Epsom salt baths are great. Literally, a person's energy field after Epsom salts, it kind of really sparkles. It really clears any kind of leftover negatives that don't belong out of it. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video quite quickly to talk about that because I do get asked about that quite often, and I've had a real influx of clients who are getting depleted by negative situations in their lives and things like that, and they're having health symptoms or feeling depressed and things like that, not through anything within their own being really, but they're just connecting with too much out there. And we're living in pretty interesting times. It's quite extreme out there. You don't want to be constantly connected into mass consciousness. You can do that when you do a meditation and send something beautiful out there, work with mass consciousness like that, but the rest of the time connecting too much with the mass consciousness and all its fears and beliefs and things like that actually can confuse you and make it harder to find your own spiritual truth and path. So yeah, self-care is so important. It's number one. It's the biggest thing to learn. If you've got any great ways that you keep yourself more anchored in yourself and stop yourself from hand-holding with everybody's energies out there, please put it in the comments below. People use different ways of doing that, different techniques. If they work for you, fantastic. And yeah, if you'd like to see more videos like this with sort of more practical spiritual tips and ideas, please like and subscribe this video to this channel, and I'll see you all in my next video. Lots of love, and take really good care of your soul. You're a precious being, so please nurture yourself.